All right, so becoming a Spanish corrections officer, 50 topics on this exam, criminal law, human behavior. You're clearly not messing around.
It's demanding, and for a reason. It weeds out those who aren't truly dedicated or mentally prepared for the realities of the job.
And this guide, Consejos para estudiar la oposición funcionario de prisiones. That's intense. It's like the playbook for not just passing, but acing this beast.
It's very practical, big on efficiency, which is key when you have this much to cover.
Wasted time. The authors seem allergic to it. They say multitasking tanks your productivity by 40%.
So much for studying with Netflix in the background, huh?
Right on the money. There's a misconception that more hours equals better results. But think of it like building muscle. You wouldn't do endless bicep curls without proper form or rest. You'd injure yourself. Focused intensity is what this guide is going for. I'm getting flashbacks to cramming for finals in college. Definitely not effective.
Not at all. The guide suggests some powerful techniques for maintaining that intensity. Have you heard of the Pomodoro technique?
Vaguely. Isn't that where you work in timed bursts?
Exactly. You work in focused 25-minute intervals, followed by short breaks. It's amazing for tricking your brain into staying engaged. The guide also highlights active recall, basically testing yourself constantly on the material instead of passively rereading, forces you to retrieve that information from your memory, strengthens those neural pathways. Think of it like a mental workout for your recall.
Much better way to think about it than just mindlessly highlighting everything.
Absolutely. And this guide isn't just about hitting the books 24/7. It also delves into what they call the 5 balls of life, an analogy, emphasizing the importance of balance. Have you ever tried juggling?
Oh, I've tried. Let's just say I'm more of a one ball at a time kind of person.
Well, imagine juggling 5 balls, representing work, family, health, friends, and spirituality. With the family, the partner ball being the only one made of glass, the guide stresses that you can always pick up a dropped rubber ball, but a shattered glass ball, that's much harder to fix.
Powerful visual. It really drives home the point that neglecting your support system, especially during high-pressure times like this, can have lasting consequences.
Exactly. Recognizing that success isn't just about acing this exam. It's about thriving in all areas of life. And that requires prioritizing your well-being and those important relationships.
Good reminder that we're not robots. We need that human connection to stay grounded.
Absolutely. And speaking of staying grounded, the guide also touches upon the philosophy of Stoicism.
Okay, I have to admit, when I hear Stoicism, I picture marble statues and suppressing all emotions. Not exactly my go-to mindset.
It's a common misconception. The Stoicism advocated here is about mental resilience, recognizing that you can't control every situation, but you can control your reactions.
So when you inevitably hit a wall studying, feeling overwhelmed, you don't let it derail you.
Exactly. You acknowledge the obstacle, then focus on what you can control. Your effort, your attitude, your next step.
This ties into another big theme in the guide, the power of saying no.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's about setting clear boundaries, saying no to distractions that derail your study schedule, no to commitments that drain your energy, and yes to prioritizing your goals.
So each no is actually a bigger yes to this, to becoming a corrections officer. Precisely. Now let's talk about studying smarter, not just harder. This guide challenges that traditional model of passive learning, pushing for more active and engaging techniques.
Yeah, they seem pretty adamant about ditching the highlighter and embracing new methods.
Right. They actually suggest recording yourself, reading the material, and listening back to it.
That's interesting. I've never considered audio learning for something as dense as, like, legal statutes. Does it actually work?
It can be highly effective. You're engaging a different part of your brain, and it allows you to study on the go, during your commute, while exercising, even doing chores.
It's like sneaking in extra study time.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm sold. What else did this guide highlight? They dedicate a good chunk to the practical application part of the exam.
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing to know the law, but another entirely to apply it in those high-stress scenarios corrections officers face.
Right.
And the guide wisely suggests tackling this section early. Don't wait until you've memorized every law.
Okay.
Diving into practical scenarios actually helps cement that knowledge in a much deeper way.
So it's not just a test at the end, it's a study tool.
Exactly. Like the difference between reading about how to swim and jumping into the deep end. The practical application forces you to think on your feet, make judgment calls, handle the unexpected, just like you would on the job.
Makes a ton of sense. I'd feel much more prepared walking into that exam room, knowing I'd already tackled those tricky scenarios.
That's the idea. Now, speaking of preparation, one more point I want to highlight is the guide's emphasis on surrounding yourself with the right people.
They call it a study squad, right? Not gonna lie, I think I love that.
Yeah.
Makes it sound way more fun than just holing up alone with your notes.
Exactly. Easy to underestimate the impact our social circle has, especially when we're under pressure. The guide reminds us that success isn't a solo sport. Having a support network, whether it's a dedicated study group, a mentor in the field, or even connecting with others online, can make all the difference.
It's that whole iron sharpens iron concept. You push each other, celebrate wins together, and pick each other up when you stumble.
And there will be stumbles along the way. That's part of any challenging journey. This is where the guide's final message really resonated with me. The power of self-belief and visualization.
They even suggest visualizing yourself like acing the exam. Isn't that bordering on like sports psychology?
It might sound a little unorthodox, but there's real power in it. When you vividly imagine yourself confidently navigating that exam hall, answering questions with ease, it creates a mental blueprint for your brain to follow.
So you're training your mind to expect success. I like it.
Exactly. Marrying your hard work and preparation with that unshakable belief in your ability to succeed.
This guide was packed with incredible insights. From ditching multitasking to embracing audio learning, tackling practical scenarios head-on, and building that study squad for support, it's clear that acing this exam takes more than just hitting the books. For more insights and resources on conquering the corrections officer exam, be sure to check out the show notes. And until next time, best of luck in your studies. You've got this.